See, we're going to baseball. Wrigley Field. Here's Adnan Burke and the crew. It's baseball tonight.
My kind of town, Chicago is. Good luck meeting this great city in the summer. It's where ESPN Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown finds us as the Washington Nationals paying visit to Jason Hayward and the Chicago Cubs. Hayward has been hot so far in August, and overall the Cubs right now have the best record in the National League. It's a dogfight though right now because the Brewers are hot on their trails. Nice to see Anthony Rizzo and Davey Martinez catching up. As for the Nationals though, they're focused on the task at hand. Ryan Zimmerman has been good in terms of extra base hits lately. They need more of that to catch both the Phillies and the Braves, but they are within striking distance. Perhaps that combination of veterans like Zimmerman and youthful experience like Trey Turner will lead them strong down the stretch. Just about 45 games to go, and we're just about an hour away from first pitch. It is baseball tonight. Sunday Night Countdown presented by Chevrolet. The Washington Nationals getting set for the Chicago Cubs here on ESPN. A beautiful sight here in Chicago and a beautiful night. Leading off, though, let's first get to top to date with what's happening. Ronald Acuna, speaking of those Braves, fellas, 4 home runs his last 5 games.
And 7 since they put him in the leadoff spot. He's got 15 for the year. Eddie, this may be your rookie of the year, unless it's Juan Soto.
And Giancarlo Stanton, the first Yankee with 30 home runs in his first season with the team since our own Mark Teixeira in 09.
And that's why Mark Teixeira took the day off and sent me over here so he can celebrate with G.
And Chris Sale today was incredible, Tim.
Right, first pitcher since 1893 to throw 5 innings, allow 1 or no hits, strike out 12. First one, 1893.
Didn't go long. He was coming back off an injury. They didn't need him anyways. And the Astros lose 4-3 to the Mariners. Their 8th straight home loss. That's crazy.
And you can tell that it's just not the same team without that arterial method that they use in the middle. Without Altuve and Springer, it's just not the same team.
Listen, you never fail to amaze me. Arterial method. I have never heard that of you before.
You like that, huh?
He's back from Italy, all right? A European vacation.
Capiche.
There you go. Tim Kirchin, I'm Adnan Burke. This is Eddie's tie. That's why I look better than normal. All right. Nationals-Cubs is a great game coming up, fellas, but great races right now in the National League. I'm telling you, it's so tight. Every division, who knows how they're going to get the edge. The Dodgers, we thought they'd start to run away with it once they got Machado. Instead, they're hanging tough because of the fact that D-backs aren't going anywhere, and neither are the Rockies. Here's Charlie Black with Colorado up 2-0 in the 6th.
I'm not sure any team is good enough to run away with any division in this league, and that's why the National League is so fascinating and will be the rest of the way.
Brian Dozier picked up by the Dodgers, contributes to the base hit here.
He's been a big pickup for them. He's used power, he's used defense, and now right there, base it up the middle to get them closer to that 3-run deficit.
And to the 9th inning we go. It's 3-0. DJ LeMahieu at bat. Punches that ball into right.
And that's patented DJ LeMahieu. Getting to right field, keeping his head up, and he sees right there the error by Puig, takes advantage, gets to second base.
And then David Dahl gets the walk, as Dave Roberts says, yeah, go ahead, give me the intentional walk, not going to mess around here. And so the drama is set. Chris Iannetta with 2 out, holds off the walk-off walk, and I'm walking here.
Keep in mind, no Kenley Jansen for maybe the next month. We'll see how the Dodgers do without him.
So the Rockies win that NL West game 4-3. Meantime, the Braves facing the Brewers. Bottom of the 2nd, Ronald Acuna, 2 outs, man on, faces Chase Anderson. He'll chase that ball all the way deep to left and gone.
And what could have been if Acuna would have stayed healthy and when he went on the DL stint. This kid, since being in the leadoff spot, has started to rake, and this could be a prelude to the wild card.
I love Jesus Aguilar. Brewers down 4-2. Sean Newcomb curveball. That's his 29th home run.
And he just reached out for that ball and hit it way over the fence in right center.
Weather gets warm. The ball starts flying out in Atlanta to right center and right field, and we see it right here. Aguilar using his power the whole entire way. Yelich, which had been struggling as of late, scores on that double.
Aguilar 3 for 4, 4 RBI on the day. Bottom of the 6th, Braves down 7-5. Dansby Swanson's up off Corbin Burns. 9th home run of the year. We're tied at 7. What a game this was.
It really was, and Dansby Swanson, what a turnaround from last year, especially on pitch inside, has been able to keep those baseballs fair.
Top of the 7th, Ryan Braun's up, bases loaded, 1 out. Johnny Venture's sinker, 6-4-3.
Johnny Venture's 3.5 Tommy John surgeries, back pitching for the Braves in the middle of a pennant race.
And then it's Ozzie Albies up. Dan Jennings, 21st home run, the Braves win.
How could something so strong and tasty come in a little package? That man right there is hitting with some pop.
I feel like we're back in Italy again now. You're talking about food. Phillies and Padres. Jake Arrieta got himself into some sticky situations earlier. Here, bases loaded, second inning. The ball gets away from Jorge Alfaro. Austin Hedges makes a break for home, but then he gets caught. So Arrieta throws back to second, and Hedges goes for home again. Asdrubal Cabrera covering a lot of distance. Look at this. He chases down Hedges from third and tags him up before the plate.
Well, that was not a straight line.
So much for straight and easy does it. Padres only lead it 1-0, and the base is loaded. This time for Freddie Galvis, he'll unload on a fastball right down Main Street.
And this is why the Nationals are still in this race, because the Phillies are not pulling away from anyone, and as well as the Braves have played lately, I think this thing is still up in the air.
First Grand Slam given up for Arrieta since September 24th of 2012. 9 runs in total. Meantime, the D-backs and the Reds. The Diamondbacks tied with the Dodgers atop the West coming in. Daniel Descalso, that's a 3-run home run.
And he's starting to pick it up the same way he did at the beginning of the season when no one was hitting, and Daniel Descalso was. They put him in the 5-hole today, and it pays off dividends.
Paul Goldschmidt, Tim, what a ridiculous story this has been. 2-run home run, D-backs up 5-2.
Great April, terrible May, tremendous June. Who knows what he's going to do the rest of the way, but I'd like him on my team, that's for sure.
Here's Goldschmidt again, this time in the 9th. This ball's crushed to left field.
Goldie this season loves playing on the road. He's one guy that you just cannot allow beat, but when it's 7-2, let's see how far he can hit it.
So 9-2 as the D-backs getting it done. All right, Cardinals and the Royals, 5-2 St. Louis. Ozuna takes this pitch into center as they need more of this from him.
They do need more of this from him, but he needs to use the big side of the ballpark, the right center. If he thinks that way, he'll stay away from the rollover ground balls at third base.
And there's Paul DeYoung as well for St. Louis as they stretch this one out against KC.
But the Cardinals, they're kind of back in this. But maybe 3 weeks ago, we didn't think they had much of a shot at all.
They've won 5 straight games. To Tim's point, that's 5 games back right now, middle of August. Of course, that is doable. Trying to chase down Chicago and Milwaukee. Philly and Atlanta right now, dead heat in the East. Nationals, they're only 5 games back. We thought they were done.
All those teams are going to have a lot of head-to-head matchups left. Everything can be different a month from now.
And the Dodgers right now, not in playoff position. 1 game back in the West, 2 out of the wild card. Crazy to think about. Well, the Nationals and Cubs we'll see here later tonight. Of course, Bryce Harper, the Nationals fans love him, and what a show he put on in the home run derby. Carl Ravitch sat down with him post his home run derby win to talk about personality in this great game of baseball.
That will do it. Bryce Harper here in Washington, D.C., your 2018 Home Run Derby champion.
The emotions that we saw, where do they come from? Because we don't see it every day. So where do they come from?
That's what it's all about. You know, it's about going out there and enjoying those moments, and that's the kid in me. You know, that's what it's all about. You know, going out there, having fun, enjoying, and just taking it all in.
Is that not something that you could do 162 times a year, to play at that sort of emotional level?
I could, but I don't know if people want to see that.
I do.
You know, I mean, I think people outside the game might want to see it. I don't know if that's baseball. I mean, it's you know, I think the game is a little bit different than other sports, and you know, I guess it's just not like that.
So are we chipping away at the iceberg? Because I'm one of those that do think the bias and the personalities, those are the types of things that we miss. I mean, you think about marketing, we miss that. Mike Trout and I think Kenneth Farid, an NBA player, are sort of on the same level when it comes to notoriety. That doesn't make much sense to me.
I don't think it does either, but that's how the game works. I mean, people don't like to see pimped homers. People don't like to see guys showing emotion or showing somebody up. And it's not really showing somebody up. It's just more of that raw emotion. You know, I think those are people in the game and people that play the game as well.
How do you get that message? How do you know that?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think...
But do you know, like, that people don't like that? How do you know that? Where's that come from?
It's just, that's the written rules of baseball. That's what everybody, you know, you know that. I mean, people know that. You know, you've been around the game for a long time.
I'd like to see a change.
I think.
And it's funny, the people we sit next to, we need more of that. Like, so where's it coming from that we don't need more of it? I got everybody I'm with. We need more of that.
Baez would be my starting second baseman just because the pure raw emotion that he brings to the game.
Lindor.
Lindor's same thing. I mean, you can go on and on with the guys in this game that bring that fire, bring that energy every single night. And, I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch.
I'm with Ravi and Bryce Harper on this, Tim. We need more flamboyance. We need more fun in the game, right?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt, and I think the fun and the emotion he showed in the home run derby really resonated with people. I think it resonated with their club, and I think they played a little better coming out in the second half, in part because of that, and I think it's good for the game.
I think health has a lot to do with how they've been playing, but at the same time, remember when he wore that "Let's Make Baseball Fun Again"?
Yeah.
To me, that's what he has to do in order to be effective. He relates to the fans. Just go out there and do you instead of trying to do who other people want you to be.
More impressive, Bryce Harper's home runs or his dad? Just the biceps.
Right arm of his dad.
Bryce Harper, Mr., is the one who's really impressive. All right, when we come back, Juan Soto, by the way, has been tremendous. Top 10 in baseball, batting average, OPS, and home runs since his debut. A star is born. When we come back, we'll focus the American League. Can anybody stop the Boston Red Sox? And can the Yankees keep pace? Those answers coming up next.
Welcome.
Hi there.
So what do you look for in a vehicle?
Sleek designs. Performance.
Dependability is top on my list.
Well, then here's some vehicles that deliver on that.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh, geez.
That's our truck.
It's our truck.
And there are cars.
That's my Chevy.
Chevy's the only brand to have earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row.
Awesome and proud.
Oh, it's like a dynasty. It's impressive.
So you'll be here to help if I need you?
Kyle, I got you.
Okay. What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Is that for us?
It sure is.
Gimme, gimme.
What about here?
Here too, Kyle.
And here's Sir Robert from State Farm.
If you invite me.
He said yes. Huzzah! Let's battle.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Kingsford Long Burning burns longer, 25% longer. So instead of stopping to refuel, you can stoke the good times till the sun goes down. Kingsford Long Burning. Start something.
You've got the ring, the trophy, the awards. That's great. But now it's a new season. And every guy on every team wants what you've got. And they're coming to get it. With blazing fastballs, filthy curves, and wicked line drives. It's a new season. How do you get back to the promised land? By getting back to 100%. 5-Hour Energy. Get back to 100%. Official partner of the MLB All-Star Game.
My girl has love in her heart and peppermint in her blood.
She saw her family get murdered and the guys who did it balked.
How does one even begin to recover from something like that?
Corrupt judges, dirty cops.
You think that you're gonna have justice?
Watch me. Do I have your attention?
Peppermint. Rated R, September 7th. Sometimes a day at the ballpark is more than just a day at the ballpark.
All military members stand and be recognized.
Sometimes fans cheer for those who wear a different uniform. No matter where or when you served, T-Mobile stands ready to serve you. That's why we're providing half-off family lines to all military.
There are people who want this movie to succeed.
Either you make good on your promise, or you'll wish you had.
So lovely, bumping into you like this.
You can trust me.
It's beautiful and dark, but on some level, you just feel it.
Oh, tell us.
Ooh. That's a lot to like. You could watch it 2-3 times and always find something new in it.
Get Shorty, only on Epix.
This is not a video game. This is not a screensaver. This is the destruction of a cancer cell by the body's own immune system, thanks to medicine that didn't exist until now. And today can save your life.
This is how it's done in New York. We build juggernauts. We run empires. It's about chasing hardware, no matter what. Can you feel it? Mets, Yankees, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, is presented by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. And in part by America's biopharmaceutical companies. Go boldly.
All right, make sure you join us for Intentional Talk. Weekdays, 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. Rose and Millar, always a ton of fun, so make sure you join us. Also available on the ESPN app. With Tim Kirch and Eduardo Perez, I'm Adnan Burke. More highlights. Red Sox and the Orioles, we turn our attention towards the AL. Top four, Sox leading 1-0 with J.D. Martinez. A blooper, a rarity from J.D. Martinez.
Especially against the Orioles. He's been beating up on the Orioles all season long. Hits it the other way. This is what makes him so good and so special. A team that is fearless on the bases. They take advantage of any mistake.
First start back with the disabled. Chris Sale, Tim, continues to be dominant for the Bo Sox.
Last 7 starts, 1 earned run in 44 innings, 6 walks, 79 strikeouts. I think he's healthy again, and when he's right at the top of that rotation, he's as big a reason as any that this team is now 50 games over 500.
Teams are hitting 103 against that devastating slider of his. He already has a 96, 97 mile per hour fastball to go along with it. That's unfair.
Sale, the first pitcher since 1893. 5 or fewer innings, 1 or fewer hits, and 12 or more strikeouts. Ridiculous. Meantime, Giancarlo Stanton, the Yankees, facing the Rangers. Stanton 4 home runs his last 5 games, and this one's a rocket to left.
Starting to get heated up. Giancarlo Stanton, second half of the season. This is what you're going to get. Don't be amazed, Yankee fans. This is what the Marlins fans saw all the time from G.
30th home run of the year, bottom half the 5th. The Yankees up 4-0. Now it's Didi Gregorius. That's number 21.
We're going to need him. He struggled mightily after starting off very hot in the month of April. His bat is needed.
And say this for the starting staff. I know it's been disappointing, Tim. It's CC Sabathia, 6 innings, 1 hit, 7 Ks.
And last start before this one, 12 strikeouts. He's awfully good today. And as they look at their rotation heading into October, I mean, he's got to factor into it since they didn't, well, they're not quite sure, but he's got to be in that mix.
I would agree. Yankees win this one 7-2 as Sabathia very strong once again. Elsewhere, Indians and White Sox. 2 on as Melky Carrera steps up. And that's deep and that's gone. 3-run home run.
And this is a guy that adds length to this lineup. He's a streaky hitter. When he gets hot, especially with Edwin Encarnacion now on the disabled list, it could get ugly for the opposing team.
Jason Kipnis, top second, 2 outs, 2 on. That's in the center. Greg Allen scores. Tribe up 5-1.
Right, and more good news for the Tribe. Tito Francona said today that Trevor Bauer likely will not miss a start with his latest injury. That's really good news for them.
Carlos Carrasco had a good day as well. Moncada and others as he was looking good.
And he owns the Chicago White Sox ever since 2017. This kid right here, every time he faces the White Sox, dominates. Again, did it this afternoon.
7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. Tribe win this one 9-7. More of the story of the American League. Those red-hot Oakland Athletics facing the Angels. Top of the 4th, Nick Martini. Shaken, not stirred. Driving this ball up the middle of the center. That'll bring in Marcus Semien for the run.
I kind of like it shaken. Because he shook those Angels today with that base hit right there. They continue to add on, continue to keep the line moving. This one an easy home run. But the Angels just get bit again by the Oakland Athletics.
Jen Lowry has a career-high 18 home runs this season. Top of the 5th, this will be Chad Pinder lining up the right field line, driving in Marcus Semien. This A's offense can hit.
And don't forget what Alex Cora told us early in the year about this team. When they left town, he said, I'm glad those guys are gone because every one of them takes a really good at bat every time through, and that's the offense we're seeing right now.
Taking care of business against the Angels, 8-5 right now in the bottom of the 8th. Mariners and Astros, no more injuries. That's right. That's a story right now. The Astros, we've had enough, okay? Bottom of the 8th, Strohsdale, 2-0, 2 on, 1 out. Alex Bregman, RBI single to right center.
Common denominator right here. Runners in scoring position, use the big side of the field. Don't be afraid to get jammed. Alex Bregman gets a base hit right here. Now, watch this at bat from Carlos Correa. Another one, just check swing, going the other way. You're thinking, okay, the excuse me hits, are things changing for the Houston Astros?
Well, how about this? Top of the 9th after a sac fly. M's down 3-2, none on, 2 out. Ryan Healy ties it up.
That's a big home run for him because Robinson Cano is about to come off the suspended list, and they're expecting him to go to first base. And Ryan Healy got hot during this series.
Top of the 10th, 1 on, 1 out for the red-hot Mitch Haniger. The All-Star off of Osuna. 5th double of the series, M's up 4-3.
Scoring D. Gordon, who's flying around the bases there. How about the Mariners coming back in this series on the road? And how about the Astros 6-10 since Altuve went out?
How about this guy?
Yeah.
Edwin Diaz. Ooh. That's all I got to say. Ooh.
Yeah. A recorder to save the first 3 games of the series, getting it done again.
46.
4 in a row for him in this series. Joe Nathan, 2004, was the last guy to do that in a 4-game series.
So the Mariners complete the sweep. Right now, the Yankees 9.5 back, Twins 12 back. But here's what's interesting. The West and the wild card. Oakland 3 out. Seattle now just 1 game back of Oakland, and all 3 of those teams involved in that wild card race. Certainly things are interesting there. Manager Dream Team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com, rated E for everyone. We're here at the friendly confines, and when we come back, an update on the Chicago Cubs. How are they looking in the middle of August with the eye toward the playoffs?
Ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy our time with family and friends in the ballpark, Major League Baseball would like to take a moment to pause and remember the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country.
You watch the attitude of the players. It's a special time to gain perspective and to recognize and to honor.
Both teams are wearing camo-inspired uniforms, the hats, the socks.
I think it's important always whenever you put on a Major League uniform to acknowledge just the people that have allowed you to have this freedom to play every day.
A very heartfelt thank you from all of us for all of the men and women who have served this country or are currently serving to keep us safe and to keep us free.
Introducing the Budweiser Freedom Reserve, a limited edition red lager with a light hoppy aroma, a toasted malt taste, and a hint of molasses. Proudly brewed in support of veterans by Budweiser's own veterans. Available this summer for a limited time only.
Roll call. Future marine biologist.
I'm here.
Aspiring songwriter.
Here.
Captain Lasercat.
Affirmative.
At Amazon, we have everything for back to school. Best Western rewards you in a flash with a $20 Best Western gift card after your first day. Book now at bestwestern.com.
It's Cheesy Bites pizza season at Pizza Hut. Your favorite pull, dip, pop icon is back. The one and only Cheesy Bites pizza with 28 poppable, dippable, cheese-filled bites. But hurry, it won't last long because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Nice choices. You see, now Verizon lets you mix and match your family unlimited plans like you mix and match your flavors, so you get what you want without paying for things you don't.
Number 6.
I know. Where do I put it? In my belly.
One family, different unlimited plans, starting at $40 per line on the network you deserve.
Get this man a shield. Let's go.
Where to, Cap?
Home.
Bring the heroes home on digital today.
This tastes just like I imagined Phil would taste.
Phil in a bottle right here.
It's uncanny. Whatever happened to Phil?
Mangoes are great. Snapple mango tea tastes just like them.
Rated E for everyone.
At 3 Day Blinds, we provide a design consultant to come to your house for free to help you choose the perfect draperies, blinds, or shutters for your style and budget.
I'm able to help clients create spaces that maybe they've never dreamed of.
We're helping people find function in their space. The value, the quality, we're very, very happy with our decision.
Set up a free design consultation and get free installation at 3dayblinds.com.
At touchofmodern.com, things you'd never think possible are totally attainable. The shoes are handmade, the furniture glows, the drones fly themselves. And that's just the beginning. Our relentless pursuit of the highest quality in watches, fashion, tech, and home are available all in one place. touchofmodern.com. We bring something new and unexpected to your life every day. So go to touchofmodern.com and be the first to discover all the novel and noteworthy items the world has to offer.
You're watching Baseball Tonight Sunday Night Countdown presented by Chevrolet.
El Nino? Meat sweats? Aliens. That's the one, okay?
And here to comment is no one, because of the alien invasion. In unrelated news, ESPN is giving fans with the best excuses for ditching work free tickets to a day game. And there's nobody here with me.
Plan 9 from outer space. Meat sweats, Tim. What do we got here?
I don't even know what it is. What does that mean? What does meat sweats mean?
You're asking me? I'm a meat eater.
They fed me the line and I said it.
Well, did as best as you could. All right, does your life need sports? Introducing the ESPN Ditch Days contest. Fans with the best excuses for ditching work win 2 tickets for an MLB day game. To enter, go to ESPN.com/Ditch Days. Play ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To learn more, go to playball.org. All right, well, for more than 2 decades, the Alpenrose Dairy Farm, owned and operated by the Cadno family in Portland, has served as the iconic home of the Little League Softball World Series. The farm also serving as the home field of the Southeast Portland Little League.
We've been running around here since we've, 3 years old, and my grandfather and my dad built the baseball diamonds up here so that my 2 cousins and myself would quit chasing balls and breaking grandma's roses.
We've got a 52-acre campus here right in Southwest Portland. We've got our plant and our processing and pasteurizing and distributing area up above, and then the rest is kind of our little playground. We've got 3 baseball diamonds. We have a quarter-midget racetrack. We have this little western town of Dairyville that we use for Christmas and Sunday fun days.
The whole community can come and watch, participate. I know what it was in the beginning. It was a way of giving back.
On any given weeknight or weekend, spring, summer, and fall, there's kids that'll be playing on all 3 of our baseball diamonds. We have our main diamond that has the stadiums and lights and bleachers.
Somewhere in the 90s, there were some mothers that wanted to see their daughters play softball. So they went back east and spoke about our place, and they awarded us the Little League Girls Softball World Series.
Oftentimes in sports, it's the guys who get so much of the limelight. So to be able to provide a place for these girls and give them an opportunity to shine and show off their accomplishments and their achievements, just such a cool thing.
At Open Rows, you feel special to play on like just the fields, and then you see older girls playing on the main field, and then a couple years later, you're playing on that field and you feel so special.
They come laughing and smiling, and they leave laughing and smiling. There's always that team that loses, but 10 minutes later, they got smiles on their faces. It's an enjoyable time.
Heartwarming to see, and we cannot wait to be there. Me and Tim Kurtz will be calling a game, in fact. Can't wait for that. August 16th to 26th, Little League World Series Baseball from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And, of course, the MLB Little League Classic, Mets and Phillies, Sunday, August 19th, 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on ESPN, just a week away from all of the fun. Let's keep the fun continuing here, though. Nationals and Cubs coming up just about 30 minutes from now, and no one better than Jesse Rogers in covering the Chicago Cubs. He knows the heartbeat of this team. And for a team that's in first place, there's some palpable concern here. And one of those is Chris Bryant and his health. It's clear the slugging numbers are down here, Jesse. What's going on with Bryant?
Well, that's why they're taking it really slow with an injured left shoulder. He already tried to come back once, played a few games, had to go back on the DL, and they are taking it very slow. The feeling is when he comes back, they don't want any setbacks, because look where we are at this time of year. You know, if you have a setback now, you're pretty much done for the season. So he's pain-free finally, picked up a bat the other day. He's going to start the old T progression. Then eventually we'll go to batting practice, obviously live pitching. Maybe around September 1st, maybe sooner. I mean, they're just going really slow, because one setback is one thing in June or July, but one in late August, September can really hurt this club and hurt his chances to play in the postseason.
You mentioned live pitching. What about you, Darvish? When is he expected back?
It's kind of a similar time frame in the sense that they're going very slow with him as well. He also had one rehab stint that got knocked down because he felt some pain. Pitched very well in a minor league outing, but could not continue after that and do a bullpen session. They shut him down. So again, if there's another setback, forget about the rest of the year. So they're going very slow. We'll have a simulated game on Tuesday. Maybe Eddie can simulate being a batter that day. I don't know if he still has it.
I think he can do it.
But, you know, he did one a few days ago, threw about 30 pitches. Now he's got to ramp it up. Got to really air it out a little bit, maybe get to 50, 60. Eventually another minor league rehab start. So both of those guys have had their moments and then had to go back down on the DL, and where they're trying to build him back up.
John Lester got hit hard yesterday. Yeah. What are people saying about him?
You know, a lot of people think he needs a day off and things like that, and I'm talking about fans. And I kind of, a turn off or whatever. I thought the same thing, but after listening to him in his post-game press conference last night, I'm a little less convinced it's physical, and it's just the circumstances. He's just in a rut. That's the word he used. His velocity is fine. Fastball velocity is fine. He says he feels okay, and he's a guy that's brutally honest about his stuff and about his outings. But he's been very calm about this situation. You can tell when John Lester has lost his mind, right? Yeah. And maybe a few minutes after the game he certainly did. But in that press conference, I saw a calm guy that knows he's going to find it again because it's not physical. So let's just see how things turn out. This guy is a big game pitcher. The big games are yet to come.
Yeah, maybe the All-Star team was great in the first half. We'll fly David Ross in here. He'll talk to Larry. He'll be fine. As always, read Jesse Rogers' great work on ESPN.com. Thanks so much, man.
You got it.
Cole Hamels will be going tonight for the Cubs. That's good news for them and their starting staff. He's been good. When we come back, though, Barry Bonds honored by the Giants and some memorable images of the week. We've got it all for you when we come back.
With 7 kids and me coaching football, our family understands how busy back to school can be.
No time? No problem. Dick's has you covered. Get the best selection of Nike and Adidas footwear and apparel.
Like Nike Vapor Untouchable 3s.
Nike Epic React and Adidas Ultra Boost.
Check out Nike Camo.
Buy one, get one 50% off Adidas apparel. Plus, great footwear under $50.
And nobody has more Yeti.
Shop confidently with our best price guarantee. And make life easier. Buy online and pick up in 1 hour.
Every school season starts at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Today, we're opening more than 150,000 locations called Domino's Hotspots. Like beaches, roadside attractions, and dog parks. And you can finally have Domino's delivered to every single one of them. No address, no problem. Find a Domino's hotspot near you, You get 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas delivered for $5.99 each.
Get the pizza you love delivered to a Domino's hotspot near you, or any of the other outdoor locations now open for Domino's delivery.
It's where a cowgirl can meet 480 horses. Where a Labradoodle owner can meet their next hybrid. Where the crew can meet its third row. And where a soccer mom can meet her MVP. Yeah. Over 500 million connections made. Find the car you'll love. We met on Cars.com.
Sometimes a day at the ballpark is more than just a day at the ballpark.
All military members stand and be recognized.
Sometimes fans cheer for those who wear a different uniform. No matter where or when you served, T-Mobile stands ready to serve you. That's why we're providing half-off family lines to all military.
Tired yet?
No.
You good?
Where will your dreams take you? Wherever you want to go.
The address is Williamsport.
Don't doubt it or run from it. Charge towards it. Chase it. Till you wake up one day and you're living it. We are told to dream big, but first, we must dream little.
World Series champions.
The Little League World Series, Thursday, on the networks of ESPN. Presented by Dick's Sporting Goods.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
The richest, the most powerful country.
This is Toby.
Who's a good boy?
And this is his Chewy box. This is Toby's mom.
Say hi, Toby.
With Chewy.com, she always gets low prices on his pet food and supplies. These are Toby's toys. She loves saving money on those. This is the food Toby eats, and the bed where Toby sleeps. Just look at all those deals. Plus, Chewy delivers for free. So unbox the savings today. Save 20% on your first order. Shop online at Chewy.com.
Say thank you, Chewy.
You're watching Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown presented by Chevrolet. Now time for the images of the week.
Give somebody honor that deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's going to be there. That's where the greatest players belong. Just a matter of time from there.
Nothing weighs on me anymore.
Doesn't enter your mind?
No.
Oh, made him look bad, too.
He's busting a gut. He is busting a gut.
That goes flying on the swing and a miss. It's a gold medal toss, I believe.
His third home run of the game.
You can't help but look up at your family.
I feel great on the play. I was a Boston fan growing up. To be honest, I never liked the Yankees.
And Mookie Betts 3 for 3, a single, a double, and a triple.
We take the drive to left field, high and deep. And Mookie Betts is hit from a cycle. Mookie Betts hitting for the cycle.
Some great images of the week now for what stood out for us on an individual level. Eddie, start us off.
I would say the Seattle Mariners, they have the toughest schedule out of any contending team left in baseball, and they went into Houston and they beat the big three that were in the All-Star and then all of a sudden they go out today with Dallas Keuchel on the mound and they beat that team again. Listen, a sweep in Houston, I don't care if some of the guys are hurt or not, that sends a message to the rest.
Especially when Seattle was reeling. Tim?
Right. And David Wright is 35 years old. He hasn't played in some time with all those injuries, spinal stenosis, and he's not given up. He played 5 innings in an A-ball game. He went 0 for 3 and struck out twice, but said it was all smiles today. We'll see if this leads to anything, but the fact that he's still out there trying, I think says a lot about him.
I agree. How can you not appreciate the resilience and that love for baseball that David Wright clearly carries? And I vote for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Of course, Pops is down the Hall of Fame. He's now playing AAA in Buffalo. He's in the Blue Jays farm system, if you couldn't guess. Look at these numbers he's putting up. 12 games in AAA, 395 and a 1253 OPS. Home run in 4 straight games. Cannot wait to see him with the big club sooner rather than later. Max Scherzer getting the start for the Washington Nationals tonight. He is the clear-cut frontrunner to win the Cy Young Award. There's a reason why Mad Max Fury Road is always must-see TV.
Here come the Nationals, now making a push.
Gotta keep playing our baseball.
See you later.
The Cubs have been stellar, and it starts with their primetime players.
That ball is gone. Javier Baez.
He does things on a baseball field that just don't seem like they should happen.
Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Max Scherzer, future Hall of Fame career.
Anthony Rizzo cracks one, gone.
Bang, zoom goes Harper.
It's about going out there, enjoying those moments.
Cubs win! The Nationals lead!
What a comeback.
All right, let's recap what's happened so far. Nationals, Cubs here in Chicago. Jason Hayward hitting .303 in August. Huge sign for them.
Huge sign for them. Jason Hayward being able to continue to swing the bat. Chili Davis has done wonders with Hayward.
Anthony Rizzo, big walk here with the bases loaded. And so the Cubs emerged victorious. On Saturday, much different story, Tim, as John Lester got beat up by the Nats bats, including Ryan Zimmerman.
It was hard contact at the beginning of the year, and he worked his way through it. A hard contact now, 10 hits given up yesterday. That was not an encouraging sign. We'll see where John Lester takes it from here, but the Nats hit him around really hard yesterday.
And also not an encouraging sign, just how weighted down we are by the amount of deep dish that we had for lunch. I know this crew is always spry and not making the same mistakes. The crew calling the game, Matt Vasgersian, Jessica Mendoza, and Alex Rodriguez.
Oh, yeah, Dan, this is going to be a good one. Cole Hamels making his home debut as a Cub, and he's got a lot of things to worry about tonight. Same is true on the other side of the scorecard. Max Scherzer, as dominant as he's been, as Adnan just laid out, the clear-cut Cy Young favorite, is facing a Cubs lineup that can do some damaging things. Let's start with Bryce Harper, and a major reason why the Washington Nationals have gotten some traction. They've won 11 of their last 17. Bryce was not himself in the first half. However, since winning the home run derby in his home ballpark, he has been the Bryce Harper that we have come to know in his 6 consecutive All-Star years. Alex, he will go as far as the Nationals take him, and vice versa is true.
No question, and he's been transformed, Bryce Harper, that is, since June 20th. And he's doing it with power, with less movement, meaning less body movement, and his head, as we'll see tonight, has been very still. This could be a Hollywood ending for him. If he can sneak this team, who can be very dangerous in October, it would be a great ending for him and also a nice lead to free agency.
And from a former MVP to a guy who's a serious candidate for the honor this year for the Cubs, Javi Baez having an all-world type season. He's already reached career highs in homers, doubles, triples, RBIs, and stolen bases. Leads the league in a handful of categories, top 10 in others, as you can see. He's 1 stolen base away from becoming the first Cub to go 20-20 in almost 15 years. And as we've said many times before this season, Jess, when he's on the field, you seem to not be able to take your eyes off the guy.
Absolutely, and it's the way he goes about it in a day and age. And Alex, you know this. I mean, this is where sabermetrics reign king, when it's all about the walk. It's having a good eye, being able to know and establish your strike zone. Javi Baez is anything but that. So he's got these numbers, but no one chases more out of the zone. No one is going to be able to hit elevated fastballs the way that he crushes fastballs. So you think about the way he goes about his at-bats. He's having this type of season, but it's very unconventional. And tonight, I think, is the biggest test, because it's all about how he does against good pitching, and tonight it's Max Scherzer.
Yeah, you can't talk about better pitching than what we've got in store for you tonight. Really a terrific matchup in this series finale. Max Scherzer and Cole Hamels, as long as they've been around, guys, meeting each other as adversaries for the first time tonight. Back to you.
All right, Matt, Alex, that should be a ton of fun. We look forward to that. When we come back, some phenomenal plays from the Diamonds, some web gems that I'm telling you, you do not want to miss. That is on the way here. Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown.
Well, it finally happened, Zachary. Somebody burned down my she shed.
Nobody burned down your she shed, Cheryl.
Well, my she shed's on fire.
Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
She shear?
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful news.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
New Kingsford Long Burning burns longer, 25% longer. So instead of stopping to refuel, you can stoke the good times till the sun goes down. New Kingsford Long Burning. Start something.
Nice choices. You see, now Verizon lets you mix and match your family unlimited plans like you mix and match your flavors, so you get what you want without paying for things you don't.
Number 6?
I know. Where do I put it? In my belly.
One family, different unlimited plans, starting at $40 per line on the network you deserve.
Just got a job as a lifeguard in Savannah. Hey, fire, and I wanna go home.
This tastes just like I imagined Phil would taste.
Phil in a bottle right here.
It's uncanny. Whatever happened to Phil?
Mangoes are great. Snapple Mango Tea tastes just like them.
They'll tell you that it's cool.
That everyone's doing it.
That you can stop anytime you want.
They'll say it makes food taste more delicious.
That it makes sex even sexier.
That it'll take the edge off.
But here's what nobody will tell you.
Here's what nobody.
Here's what nobody will tell you.
It's all true!
Go for it. What the hell are you doing here?
Huh?
You're the reason we're making this video.
Oh, really? Well, that's very flattering.
Rated R.
Every one of you are special.
We're here to find out how special.
16 men will fight the contender belt, and all these guys got that look in their eye.
All eyes on us. Let's all rise up. Yeah.
Once we get in that ring, it's my family versus yours.
Let's go, baby! Oh. This is it. Show me you won. Only one will become the contender.
The Contender. The new season premieres only on Epix.
Come with us to a new world, deeper than the ocean, as unfathomable as the universe. A world that doesn't exist outside you, but within you. Where breakthrough science is replacing chemotherapy with immunotherapy. Where we can now attack the causes of disease, not just the symptoms. Where medicines once produced for all are now designed to fit you. Today, 140,000 biopharmaceutical researchers go boldly to discover treatments and cures unimaginable 10 years ago and are on the verge of more tomorrow.
Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, is presented by Chevy, the most awarded and fastest growing brand. The last 4 years overall.
That's like Tim's transportation about taking him to the airport here. Mets and Yankees, because Tim and Eddie will be part of the call for the Subway Series. How big is this? Jacob deGrom against Stanton and that Yankee offense. Cannot wait. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Now let's see why Max Scherzer is built for baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. He gets a start for the Washington Nationals tonight. He's been incredible. He leads the majors in pitches, innings pitched, starts, strikeouts, and Cy Young awards since 2013. He was always a strong pitcher with the Tigers. He's elevated ever since. Tim, clearly the superlatives do start to run out when it comes to Scherzer, but what impresses you most about him?
Well, it's his durability. It's max effort on every pitch, and yet he never misses a start. And in this era where so many guys are getting hurt, he always goes out there, and the common denominator of every great pitcher in history is he takes his turn, and this guy does every time.
He knows how to win. Last 10 years, he's won over a 500 record. This guy is a solid player and pitches to the scoreboard.
Yeah, might give up a home run here and there, but in terms of critical situations, he really does bear down. And especially with those new age statistics, so to speak, strikeout to walk, etc., Scherzer is phenomenal. There's a reason why he is so strong for the Nationals, and right now the heavy favorite towards winning the Cy Young this year once again for the Nats. Now time for the best when it comes to defensive excellence. It's something we call Web Gems of the Week. Number 5, gentlemen, Pirates and the Rockies. Corey Dickerson grounds a short. Trevor Story bare hand and throws him out.
And it doesn't surprise me. Trevor Story's strong arm. We've seen him go to the left. This time, we see him go to the right. Great throw to Ian Desmond.
Number 4 is Cubs-Royals. Javier Baez, who we'll see tonight, diving toward the line, makes it a stop, and throws it to Jorge Bonifacio.
And he's told us several times he's probably the best second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman on their team. That's how skilled he is.
And he'll be on tonight at third again with Cole Hamels on the mound.
Number 3 is Rockies and Dodgers. DJ LeMahieu bringing up the middle. Brian Dozier's paying dividend. Dive, slips to Manny Machado, who turns 2.
He doesn't just hit homers. He helps with the glove. And now they have pretty much set a second baseman and shortstop heading forward for the rest of this year.
And what a week for Adam Engel. Eddie was all of this as we were watching it. Monday versus the Yankees, he robbed a home run from Greg Bird.
I was there, and it was beautiful. But the next day, I turn on the TV, and I go, why are you showing the same replay, but with a different jersey? Oh, my, he makes a great play. Did he do the same thing again today?
Indeed. Against the Indians, he robs Yonder Alonso. 3 home run robberies this week.
And I think this is the best one. I think he's a good foot over that fence. That's clearly a home run if he doesn't catch it. But, Eddie, this is the play of the weekend.
Uy, Ramoncito, Ramon Laureano, watch this throw. It would take 3 relay guys for me to make this play, guys. One throw, what? Outstanding.
And we forget how far he had to run to make that catch. It's a way above average catch. And then he throws it for the warning track, basically to first in the air.
Let's take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. Look at how much Laureano has to run. That's ridiculous.
And that part is lost because of the arm, but the strength, you look at it right there, 321 feet. Mr. Kana didn't even have to move at first base. Perfect throw.
Oakland A's rolling right now. That play, marvelous. Bryce Harper electrified the masses at the Home Run Derby, winning the Home Run Derby in Washington, D.C. We heard him earlier speaking about personality in baseball. Now Carl Ravitch asked him about the Nationals' second half, and is Bryce Harper leaning towards leaving D.C.?
With regards to being a free agent and what you're doing in your final season, what contributes, if anything, other than baseball, to what appears to be a non-Bryce Harper yet season, and yet we see that we're like, nope, still right there, same guy.
I think the 214 everybody looks at and sees that I'm not a 214 hitter, and I agree with them. You know, I'm not a type of hitter that's going to hit 214 or 200 every single year. My swing feels great. You know, I need to try to hit it over the guys, then hit it to the guys. But, you know, I think if you look to the right of my 214, you see 23 homers, and you see that I can still drive the ball to the ballpark and still drive in runs and score runs as well. And I got 80 walks. I'm getting on base. So, I mean, hopefully this next second half I can help my team win, you know, a little bit more. And, you know, if you look at the average and I rate the second half, it's going to be 250. So it's still going to be down. That's just part of the game. But if you look to the right and you see 40 homers and 100 ribbies, it's going to look pretty sweet.
this flip the switch concept doesn't really apply in sports, although you can see teams get hot. You can't go in there and say, guys, it's time to flip the switch, because you're constantly trying to have the switch be in the on position. But there are people who will say, I can't wait. Like, we're waiting for them to find it. You know, are you the same way with that? Are you aware that we haven't really found it yet? And what will make you find it?
I think it's just getting our lineup all back together. I don't think we've played one game, or maybe we've played one game. I don't even know. I don't think we've played one game with our whole lineup. And, I mean, that's tough. You know, we've had a lot of good guys come up, and, you know, to be at 500 baseball right now, I think it's pretty impressive for our team. I mean, we've played some crappy baseball, and I think people know that in our clubhouse and outside of it as well. And we're not, you know, playing to our potential. And once we do, and, you know, if we keep grinding, keep going, like I said, we got a great clubhouse. We got a lot of great group. You know, we got a great group of guys in there. Getting Strasburg back is gonna be huge. Having our 1 and 2 battle it out. Those are 2 Cy Young candidates right there at the top. You know, and so we're excited. We're excited to get back and get going.
I think Ovechkin still drinks from the cup. If you guys ever won the World Series, and you saw what the city can do when a hockey team does it, can you imagine what it would do for a baseball team and how you'd be feeling 72 hours later?
Nothing against the Caps at all, but I think if we brought a title back to this town in D.C., it would be unbelievably huge and about 10 times better. Because I mean, winning the Stanley Cup is something that is insanely incredible. Everybody sees that when you watch a hockey playoff game, and to be able to win that, it's, you know, Sir Stanley is very, very impressive. But to bring back the title to D.C., I mean, it would be incredible.
I'm gonna check. You're going to O'Hare, right?
Where's my bag? That's my bag on the floor?
Okay, guys, so Bryce Harper and company cannot wait for this game to get started. Harper clearly, listen, guys, he knows the focus is on him and what could happen the rest of the way. But listen, 5 games out, Tim. I know it's been a disappointing season. This team could still have a happy ending.
Right, but it's going to have to start with him, Harper, because so many other guys on that club still aren't healthy. They got to get Steven Strasburg back. They got to start scoring runs like they've been, and it starts with him, who's had a very good second half so far.
Listen, you also need Strasburg, you need Doolittle. You get those guys in that back end, it's going to be a different story in the East.
Definitely. The second half's been better for Bryce Harper. Maybe his swan song with the Washington Nationals, but he doesn't want to focus on that right now. As for the laps that we'll see here tonight, we know Max Scherzer is pitching for Washington, and we are well aware that Cole Hamels gets to start for the Cubs, and he's been good so far. In terms of the Nationals offense, you see Trey Turner leading us off, and Juan Soto, who's been such an amazing story.
He's been great, especially against left-handed pitching. Uses the opposite field really well, does not get intimidated. For a 19-year-old, remarkable. Mark Reynolds in the lineup, kills lefties.
Nationals overall, so as you mentioned, Tim, Strasburg clearly they worry about, but Mark Reynolds is interesting, a feast or famine kind of guy. Maybe he gets hot down the stretch, who knows?
Yeah, and I don't think their offense is going to be the issue. It's been their starting pitching since the beginning of June that has really let them down. So again, when Strasburg comes back, Tanner Roark's thrown a lot better. Gio Gonzalez was very good his last time out, but 3, 4, and 5 have to be much better, and they got to get Strasburg back as the number 2.
And you have to hope from Philadelphia and Atlanta, 2 upstart teams, that maybe they have a September swoon. Meantime, for Chicago, well, the story for them has also been some questionable starting pitching. The offense has been terrific. They lead the National League in all the major categories. Hasn't really been any major concerns. We talked a bit about Chris Bryant, the lack of power, but Rizzo hitting leadoff, just like Joe Madden drew it up in spring training, right?
And he's been doing great the last 15 games. He's absolutely been raking, getting on base. Javier Baez doing a lot of damage. We'll see tonight against a supreme pitcher on the mound. But Ben Zobrist, since the second half of the season, he's been the shining light offensively for the Chicago Cubs.
And Javier Baez, an MVP candidate as well for the Cubs, Tim.
He's been terrific. And again, their lineup isn't the issue either. Their lineup, like the National, I mean, their team is built around their starting pitching, which hasn't been very good lately. That has to improve. But the way Cole Hamels is thrown is a big bonus for this team.
Now, the injury bug certainly has been Washington hard so far this season. 1,153 days in the disabled list, tied for the 5th most in Major League Baseball. But the Nationals bullpen has been very good this season. 3.70 ERA, 10th in MLB, and 5th in the National League. Who you got tonight, Eduardo? You got the Nationals or you got the Cubs?
I am going to go with the Chicago Cubs. I feel that this is a team that plays really well Sunday nights here in the stadium. The entire city wants them, and all eyes are on them. They know it. Javier Baez playing third base with Cole Hamels on the mound. Defense is going to prevail. Max Scherzer is going to be great. I don't think they'll beat him. They'll end up beating the bullpen.
Tim, your fearless prediction?
Well, I'll take the Nationals because Max Scherzer's pitching. He leads the league in wins, innings, strikeouts, whip. He's second in the league in ERA. He is third in the league in ERA. He is really good.
I will also go the Nationals and use Tim's exact rationale. When Max Scherzer's on the mound, I will err on the side of caution and go with him. I do want to get your thought, though, on Cole Hamels, Eddie. How critical is he, considering that Lester was an all-star in the first half and struggled? If Cole Hamels can be the guy who he was 3-4 years ago, that's amazing for this team.
It's going to be a huge piece. Tonight, the fastball up in the zone, the changeup down and away to the lefties, and the curveball in the dirt is going to play pivotal for Cole Hamels' success.
This crowd certainly is fired up because Cole Hamels has been great so far. For Tim Kirchin, Eduardo Perez, I'm Adnan Burke. Thanks for watching Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. All the stars are out like Bryce Harper. Speaking of stars, Alex Rodriguez, Jessica Mendoza, Matt Vasgersian with the call. Guys?
Oh, Adnan, as you know, two perennial postseason contenders who met in last year's NLDS, hoping to get back to the fall again this year. Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. Well, 7 years ago, there was a 19-year-old phenom in the game named Bryce Harper who had a bright future ahead of him. There's a 19-year-old phenom in the game right now wearing the same uniform named Juan Soto, who is the talk of the league. And the Cubs, not to be outdone for young star power, feature a big handful of former first-rounders ready to defend their crown in the NL Central. And speaking of the standings, as a result of the schedule today, where Atlanta beat the Brewers and the Phillies lost in San Diego, the top of the NL East is again in a dead heat. Washington 5 back. In the Central, the Cubs can move to a 3-game advantage over Milwaukee with a win against Washington here tonight. With that, we welcome you upstairs into the broadcast booth at Wrigley Field with Jessica Mendoza and Alex Rodriguez, Matt Vasgersian. Occasionally, we are guilty of overhyping a pitching matchup.
Never.
That is not the case tonight because all the hype around Max Scherzer and Cole Hamels is justified. For Max Scherzer, Jess, in the midst of an amazing year and en route to perhaps a 4th Cy Young Award.
You know, there's so many directions you can go with Max Scherzer because of his stuff and what he can do. But I'm going to pick two things. And one is what he throws. You think about 5 pitches that are plus pitches, and 3 of them, his fastball, his slider, and his changeup, you could argue are the best 3 in baseball. Then the second is the emotion, the energy. I mean, this is a pitcher in a game that can be so stoic. He's not afraid to stare down a batter. He's not afraid to throw at a batter. He has that high energy, that fist-pumping energy that you just love to get behind. So between his stuff and his energy and emotion, I think that's what sets him apart.
There's going to be a lot of energy in the ballpark tonight, Alex, if for no other reason than to watch the home debut of their new prize pitching acquisition. Cole Hamels working at home as a Cub at Wrigley Field for the first time tonight.
Cole Hamels has been a fantastic pickup for the Cubs. And since he's been a Cub, he's been 2-0, 11 innings, only 1 run allowed, and no extra base hits. But he's doing it with the fastball and fastball command, throwing to all 4 quadrants. It'll be very interesting to see if he is this year's version of Justin Verlander for the Chicago Cubs.
This one also features a pair of managers who know each other quite well. A long stewardship between Dave Martinez and that man, Joe Madden. They've been linked professionally for quite a long time as they channel some inner chi. Yeah, that apprenticeship ranged from Tampa to their days here on the north side of Chicago. Tonight, the student and master go head-to-head. The Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi squaring off. Next.
Why turn a meal into a snack when you can turn a snack into a meal? A 3-cheese blend pico de gallo, double the marinated steak, and a medium drink.
At least they're cute.
Taco Bell's new $5 steak nachos box. It's kind of a big meal.
Creating the perfect night just takes a little creativity. The light beer you've been waiting for has arrived. Lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Corona Premier.
It's strange, but I don't
Introducing the first ever Nissan Kicks.
When it's too cold for camping, we go camping. When it's too hot to work, we work. Too wet to keep going? Nah. This is the Gator XUV 835 with game-changing heat and air and 3 wide seating. It's never too anything for anything. Nothing runs like a deer. Get $400 off the Gator XUV 835M at any participating John Deere dealer.
The O'Connell kid flooded the boys' bathroom again.
And now we donut.
Simple coffee-liciousness. The original donut shop coffee. Have your fun.
It's you again. The vicious one. Ready to attack. You make short work of anything that crosses your path. And today will be no different. When you need to conquer the nastiest, most ferocious projects, bite hard with T-Rex tape. Ferociously strong tape.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Search with all-new speed. Shop with all-new control. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor on Auto Trader, so you'll know the price is fair. Supercharge your search and find your next car faster than ever. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by Taco Bell's Nacho Fries, this summer's tastiest blockbuster, and in part by Corona Premier, lower carbs, lower calories, higher expectations. Welcome back inside the friendly confines at their friendliest on a breezy, brilliant summer night like tonight, and we're set for a good one. Speaking of high expectations, Scherzer versus Hamels in Chicago. Doesn't get much better as we take a look at our starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Taco Bell. Setting the lineup for Dave Martinez and the Washington Nationals.
From one past MVP in Bryce Harper to perhaps a future one in Juan Soto, the Dominican stud, hitting .354 against left-handers this year with 6 home runs. So not intimidated by the lefties.
Switch hitter and a couple of lefties in the lineup against the southpaw Cole Hamels, the 34-year-old 4-time All-Star. Very good in his 2 performances so far early in his Chicago Cub tenure. A couple of wins, most recently at Kansas City on the road. This, as mentioned, is his Wrigley debut as a Cub, and this is a ballpark that he has some very fond memories in. Great regular season numbers here, including a no-hitter a few years back in his final start as a Philadelphia Philly.
Well, he's excited to be in a Cubs uniform, and you can tell just from his last 2 starts that Alex talked about in the open, but especially this field, this park, it's very pitcher friendly.
Underway in Chicago tonight. Trey Turner, Juan Soto, and Bryce Harper for the Nationals. The Nationals, as we've talked about, have split this series so far with the Cubs, but the returns have been a lot better for Washington, in particular on the offensive side of the scorecard since the All-Star break. A resurgent Bryce Harper, a healthy Ryan Zimmerman, a healthy Daniel Murphy, and it's translated into good things for the defending Eastern Division champs. Two balls and no strikes to the speedster Trey Turner. The 2-1 from Hamels. Well, for Cole Hamels, Alex, he is essentially the same guy as far as pitch mix as the one you faced in postseason play and throughout your career. Some modifications have taken place, however, since he became a Cub. As Turner smashes a ground ball to third, Javi Baez there tonight. A nifty play by Rizzo for the first out.
Cole Hamels, for me, is the perfect pickup for this team. Facing him in the World Series in 2009, he had very, very good stuff. I faced him just 2 years ago, And I was expecting the same Cole Hamels. Jessica, he was so much better. He was crisper. He had better fastball command. He was better fastball command. And the big difference was the life and the command on the fastball. He also added a devastating cutter. So if they get that version of it, like I said in the open, he could be this year's Justin Verlander.
Juan Soto picks on the first pitch in his first career matchup with Hamels and flies out to Ben Zobrist. There are 2 quick outs, and you might have seen those numbers. Just the fact that he has refined the repertoire a little bit different in terms of how frequently he uses the four-seam fastball, specifically as a Cub.
Well, and I think we're going to see, because his best pitch right now is his changeup. And you think about even a start against the Pirates, his first for the Cubs, 7 of the 9 strikeouts were on that changeup. And in his start against the Royals, even Joe Madden mentioned, hey, when his changeup isn't going, he can still figure it out. But that's his pitch that has to work.
So 2 quick outs for the 6-time All-Star Bryce Harper. 7 of his last 11 games have yielded a multiple hit line.
And there's the cutter we've been talking about. That's the equalizer for both righties and lefties. And you'll see it in pitches in counts like 0-0, 2-1, 3-1 to get him off the fastball.
Well, as much as Cole Hamels enjoys pitching at Wrigley, Bryce Harper enjoys swinging the bat here. At least 1 hit or walk in each of the 16 regular season games he's played here. 2 balls and a strike. Of course, you could look at that in terms of the walks. And in recalling the series that the Nationals had here a couple of Mays ago, where Bryce over a 4-game series was walked 13 times, you could say those walks have come at a price for Bryce Harper. It's a 2-2 now.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that was the beginning of a trend for Bryce where he just wasn't being pitched to. And I think even Bryce himself at the time admitted that it got a little bit in his head. He still to this day sees a major league low strike percentage. A swing and a miss from Hamels gets the side in order to start the night tonight. Max Scherzer getting ready to go to work. A scoreless start to the night at Wrigley.
Welcome.
Hi there.
So what do you look for in a vehicle?
Sleek designs.
Performance.
Dependability is top on my list.
Well, then here's some vehicles that deliver on that.
Whoa.
Oh, geez.
That's our truck.
It's our truck.
And they're our cars.
That's my Chevy.
Chevy's the only brand to have earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs 3 years in a row.
Awesome. I'm proud.
Oh, it's like a dynasty. It's impressive.
What's the Strongman?
It's a pea protein gluten-free pate.
It's a burrito filled with plants pretending to be meat.
Here we see the artist making an attempt to bare his soul.
It's just a gray dot.
There are multiples on the table. One is cash, 3 are FHA, 1 is VA. So what can you do?
She's saying a whole lot of people want to buy this house. But you got this. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans makes the complex simple. Understand the details and get approved in as few as 8 minutes by America's largest mortgage lender.
Megalodon. Massive prehistoric killer machine. What you discovered is bigger than we ever thought possible. I'm gonna make this thing bleed. Hell yeah.
The Meg, rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX, now playing.
3 up, 3 down starts the night for Cole Hamels. It's time for Max Scherzer to go to work early in a scoreless tie as we take a look at the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs, presented by Taco Bell.
Joe Madden talked to us pregame and said he likes to put his 2 best hitters at the top. So with Anthony Rizzo and Javier Baez right after him, even though he's an untraditional 2-spot hitter, he's leading the National League in RBIs and has been having a career season with the numbers he's putting up this year.
5-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer to take the ball for the 25th time this year. 15 wins, a share of the major league lead in that department, a 2.28 ERA, and a major league leading 216 strikeouts this year. Did not factor in the decision Tuesday at his most recent start against Atlanta, and there's a how do you do for Anthony Rizzo to begin the day.
You know, the irony is I was talking to Rizzo pregame, and he said the one thing that he fears with Scherzer, he's like, he's not afraid to come up and in.
That's like
got one first pitch.
Just a little Cuban coffee espresso there early in your first at bat.
Right? And Rizzo doesn't give a lot of room because he likes to crowd, and right now he backed off the plate a little bit from that first at bat pitch to now.
Well, Anthony Rizzo has led off for Joe Madden in 26 of the Cubs' last 27 games, and what appeared initially as a stunt last year now looks more and more like a reality to get to the finish line. Joe likes what he has with Rizzo at the top, and it's 2-1 now.
Well, it's working. I mean, you look at his average, and a lot of, I think, power batters don't like to hit leadoff first because a lot of times you want to know what stuff is working and what's not. I mean, Alex, you can attest to that. Of course, Max Scherzer, most nights, everything's working.
Chopped to the nearly vacant left side of the infield, and that's where Mark Reynolds handles it for the first out.
And Scherzer will attack you with all 4 pitches. You see the fastball, the slider, which sometimes goes into a cutter for righties and lefties, the changeup, and the occasional curveball. You'll see that on first pitches and sometimes in 2-1 pitches to get back into the count.
One gone for the free swinging Javi Baez, exercising some rare restraint to take strike 1.
What you also see is a Rocky Balboa pedigree and makeup of just an absolute bulldog who's going to come at you and attack you for 9 innings.
A ball and a strike to Baez, who is in the midst of a 3-game hitless stretch, the likes of which he hasn't seen very often this year. Three pitches without a swing to Javi Baez.
He heard us talking about him in the baseball tonight, how nobody chases balls more. I think he averages more 1-pitch at bats than anybody else in baseball.
You knew you had a swing in him at some point. It was driving him crazy. StatCast powered by AWSAI, and the swing percentage of 60 is the second highest in Major League Baseball. Another big one. Scherzer finishes him off with the strikeout, his first of the night.
That's what makes Scherzer a #1 and a triple threat. Is the fastball, both 2-1 by you and 2-2 right by you. That ball's center cut right down the middle, and is all because of the command and the explosion. Fastball hitter. Here it is. Strike 3.
You know, we can talk all we want about the metrics in baseball, and one that really plays for me is your swinging strike percentage on pitches in the zone.
Yeah.
There's Ben Zobrist now with 2 gone, and only Chris Sale of the Red Sox has a higher number in that category. So they're strikes. They're pitches that are in the strike zone, and batters still can't square them up.
Well, that's the late life. That's that explosion that Alex just described. And honestly, if you reverse it, Cole Hamels can't afford to do that. For Cole Hamels, he has to locate the fastball. Max Scherzer can throw it center cut, but he has that late life, especially his 4-seam. It gets that explosion and the strikeout.
That separates the good from the great, and that's why Scherzer is such a dangerous competitor in October.
Max Scherzer, too, has his recent memories of Wrigley Field. In fact, his most recent start here, Game 3 of the 2017 NLDS, had a no-hitter going until the man at the plate, Ben Zobrist, doubled with 1 away in the 7th. Cubs would score in the 7th and 8th and go on to win the game 2-1. On the ground to the shifted side of the infield, and Scherzer, like Hamels, is quick and efficient in his half of the first.
We know what it's like to learn from the best. We know there's nothing quite like watching a sun rise. We know that what's outside can change what's inside. We know the great outdoors. We love the great outdoors. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's are proud to salute you, the great American hunter, with the Fall Hunting Classic, offering you the best of the best deals, gear, and special events to keep our tradition of conservation going strong.
You're here to buy a used car, truck, SUV. That's smart. TrueCar can help. It's great for finding a new car, but you already knew that. It's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. So no matter what you're looking for, there it is. This is how buying a used car should be. This is TrueCar.
This is how it's done in New York. We build juggernauts. We run empires. It's about chasing hardware, no matter what. Can you feel it? Mets, Yankees, tomorrow at 7 on ESPN.
Should we?
Can we? You totally can. At Lowe's, we have top brands like Valspar and the expert guidance to make getting it done easy.
The moment you say,
We did it.
Looking good. At Booking.com, we can't guarantee you'll be good at that water jet thingy, but we can guarantee the best price on this hotel or any accommodation from homes to yurts. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
There are people who want this movie to succeed.
Either you make good on your promise, or you'll wish you had.
So lovely, bumping into you like this.
You can trust me.
It's beautiful and dark, but on some level, you just feel it.
Oh, tell us.
Ooh. That's a lot to like. You could watch it 2-3 times and always find something new in it.
Get Shorty, only on Epix.
To the second inning, scoreless early on. The middle of the order for the Nationals against Cole Hamels, Ryan Zimmerman, Daniel Murphy, and Mark Reynolds. Ryan Zimmerman has been hot. Funny what can happen with a healthy Ryan Zimmerman. Almost 2 months on the shelf with an oblique injury. 6 extra base hits in his last 6 games. And in this series, yesterday, became just the 5th player, the 5th Nationals player, to enjoy a 6 RBI game.
Oh, those are great. You sleep like a baby. Oh, you can't wait to get to the stadium the next day. Become very chatty, Matt. Very chatty.
I'm a really good hitter. Look at me.
Look at me. Look at me. Where's the camera? Look at me. Look at me. Yeah.
He's in front, 3 balls and no strikes. Taking a strike all the way, 3-1. Hamels able to breeze through the first, retiring Turner, Soto, and Harper to start his night. And to a full count now.
There's that 3-1 cutter. That's something that Cole Hamels wasn't doing 5-7 years ago. Today he does. That's the kind of stuff that can make him really valuable down the stretch. Now it's 3-2. It's back to even.
Payoff pitch, and he loses him on ball 4. Joe Madden's wearing a microphone for us tonight and sharing his thoughts on Cole Hamels' home debut so far.
See, for me, he has a tendency to jump out a little bit. He gets his back leg comes with his delivery. That was good. His back foot looked good on that. Change up, though.
After the leadoff walk, here's Daniel Murphy. I think it's important to remind folks of the perspective that Joe Madden has of Cole Hamels. 2008, Cole's greatest triumph, winning World Series MVP, came at the expense of Rays manager Joe Madden. He knows what Cole looks like when he's really good.
Well, I love that's one of the biggest things that when teams trade and they get a new, especially pitcher, is they can't wait to get their hands on some of the things that they've picked up over the years. For Joe, one of the things he mentioned to us was the mechanics. He talked about his back foot there. He was telling us about him getting turned just a little bit more for more power. He really believes he can go 95, 96 consistently when he's been averaging about 91, 92 this season.
2 balls and a strike to Daniel Murphy now, the 3-time All-Star who has returned to his former self after a sluggish start to his season, one that got off to a very late start, recovering from off-season knee surgery. Murphy's numbers the last 3 weeks, exactly what Nationals fans have been used to the last 3 years. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I've said it often, and Daniel Murphy, it's, you know, a combination of a guy that I grew up watching, Keith Hernandez or Mark Grace. He's the stability, in many ways, the most important player, offensive player on that team.
And the key to Murphy, too, and what I love, Alex, about Daniel Murphy's swing, this is what I love about baseball, is you see the variance. But for Murphy, he's so simple. And when you see his numbers, I mean, his 3rd season with the Nationals, the numbers that he's put off since 2006. But a big part of that is his lower half. You see how low he gets.
Beats the shift and shoots it into the opposite corner. That is vintage Daniel Murphy. The 3rd is Zimmerman, where he's in front of the throw, and the Nationals are in business with runners at the corners and nobody out.
This is what makes Daniel Murphy the most valuable player in this offensive team. Is a 3-2 count, lays off a 2-2 pitch, and then hits an absolute Hall of Fame pitch and hits it right down the line. You cannot tell you how valuable that is for that offense, and now 1st and 3rd with no outs.
That is vintage Wade Boggs is what that is. That's close your eyes,
poke it through,
a piece of fried chicken and a tall boy, put on some eye black and go get your 3 hits.
And you're right, in Daniel Murphy vintage too, because before he put up the power numbers that we saw in 2015 when he was with the Mets, was him being that slap type hitter that could get the base hits. And when he needs to with 2 strikes, to Alex's point, he still has the ability to bring out old Daniel Murphy and poke it through.
Mark Reynolds now, who after a foul ball is even at 1-1.
Watch how quiet he is. Look at that front heel up down. In a day and age with high leg kicks, huge swings, nothing wrong with that, but it's nice to see just simplicity at its best, and that's a nice base hit for Murphy.
Just playing a little pepper.
Kids don't even know pepper these days. I always ask them about playing pepper. It's a lost art.
2-1 to Reynolds.
The other thing, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was just going to mention the healthy Zimmerman, the healthy Murphy. That's what the Nationals want. But it's kind of cut into Mark Reynolds' playing time to a degree, making just his 2nd start in the last 3 weeks tonight. And sending a ball into the opposite field for Jason Hayward. Who'll set up. He's got the big arm. Zimmerman tags up. They're going to try it. Throw to the plate is just a little late, and the Nationals are on the board first tonight.
And just good baseball here. Hayward, who's one of the best defenders and a very, very good throwing arm. Good baseball around the horn. What's overlooked in an inning like this is the 3-2 pitch to Zimmerman, a cutter low and in. He lays off it. Then comes Daniel Murphy with another 3-2 count. He goes Wade Boggs, and just a simple fly ball about 300 feet, 1-0 Nationals.
And if that ball's on line for the arm strength that Jason Hayward has, if that is on the money, they get Zimmerman out at home.
Michael Taylor now with a run in, 1 away, and a man at first. While Taylor's OPS, as you can see, is under the league average. He has been swinging a more dangerous bat the last week and a half, batting over 300 in that stretch.
Them getting healthy again is a huge part. They haven't had to play Michael Taylor every game, and Davey Martinez told us we can kind of play matchups, build to his strengths, and that's why he's had success. Hitter that crushes lefties.
You know, everybody's got their injury woe is me story. For the Nationals, it is a relevant dialogue, however, especially among their position players. Their DL days among offensive players, second most in all of baseball. And it's not just the starters and the stars that we've talked about, guys like Murphy, Zimmerman. One of the biggest injuries that they had to swallow all year was that of Howie Kendrick. Right Achilles injury in May. One of the most important players they had on their roster for his versatility, for his ability to keep a line moving at the plate. So it's even role players that they've been without this year. Anthony Rendon not in the lineup today as he was hit by a pitch on Friday. He is considered day-to-day.
And the architect of this team is Mike Rizzo, the general manager for the Nationals. It is hard to really appraise what a great job he's done curating this team as the architect. But what's interesting about, you see Daniel Murphy, you see Zimmerman, you see Michael A. Taylor. Everybody just gets a little bit better. Instead of Michael Taylor hitting 5th, you drop him to 7th or 8th. All of a sudden the team becomes, you know, much better.
And Taylor can't hang on, swings and misses for the second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Hamels tonight. Good matchup coming up tomorrow on ESPN. Mets and Yankees. It's a rematch of a game that was rained out a few Sundays ago. Jacob deGrom and Luis Severino. How's that for a matchup? Wednesday, Red Sox and Phillies. And then Sunday Night Baseball a week from tonight.
Yes.
Jess, Alex, Buster, and I will be in Williamsport, Pennsylvania for the Little League Classic.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All the Little Leaguers come to the ballpark. The big leaguers go see the Little Leaguers that morning. It's like the best.
Sleepy little town.
Mets and Phillies a
Have you
week
been to
from
Williamsport?
tonight.
I can't wait. No, I haven't.
Oh, A-Rod to Williamsport. It'll never be the same.
Cannot wait.
Here's Matt Wieters now with 2 gone and a runner aboard. A run in here in the top of the second. 2 balls and no strikes to the switch hitting catcher Matt Wieters.
Matt Wieters, one of the most underrated game callers. Switch hitter, can hit with some power. But for a guy like Max Scherzer, who's already all-world, he's even better with a guy like Matt Wieters. How he handled pitches. Oh.
A rocket out to left, but right in the tracks of Kyle Schwarber to retire the side. Nationals do strike first through an inning and a half tonight. 1-0 Washington.
Nacho fries are back at Taco Bell. The ads are everywhere. With Mexican spices and warm nacho cheese sauce. One thing's for sure.
The future is nacho fries.
Nacho fries are back, now serving at Taco Bell.
Some believe if it's not German, it's not luxury performance. So we brought these Infiniti SUVs to Germany with American families to drive them.
This truck is only for German luxury auto, not for family or SUV.
VC Turbo. It's like 2 engines in one. How did Germany not do that first?
The Infiniti family of SUVs. There's nothing traditional about it. Finance the Infiniti QX50 at 0.9% APR for 60 months. Infiniti. Empower the drive.
Generosity. A spirit that's real. Real. The symbol of who you are in everything you do. Pulling every single person with you. Generosity. That's the long game. Worthy of the crown. Crown Royal.
Hey man, let's play ball.
Oh, he pops it in center field. Could be trouble.
Hey, Walker, go, 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 go.
However you play ball, play ball. Go to playball.org to find out more.
Want more stats? Hey Siri, who's leading the National League in wins?
He is on the mound as we speak. He's Max Scherzer with 15 victories, leading the National League in that category. Zach Godley of the Diamondbacks was a winner in Cincinnati today, his 13th of the season. Aaron Nola has had a great weekend in San Diego with the Phillies, although it didn't necessarily go the Phillies' way the entire time. John Lester with 12 wins, but knocked around yesterday, and Lester, a stalwart in this rotation and a guy you can count on every 5 days, has not had a real good stretch over the last 4 or 5 starts.
And that's the guy the Cubs have to count on. So yeah, you're right. The last few starts, really since the break, John Lester has struggled, and that's not been his MO all season.
So Scherzer back to work in the second. He'll get the middle of the Cubs order. Jason Hayward, Albert Almora, and Kyle Schwarber. There's always a matchup like this on Sunday Night Baseball that we kind of circle on the scorecard, where it's strength versus strength. Somebody who's hot at the time versus an adversary who's just as hot at the time on the other side. This is the one for me. Good breaking ball swung on and missed that time. Scherzer with the big time velocity, and Hayward has killed the fastball all year long.
Which is probably why he's going to the breaking ball. I mean, you think about, to your point, it's what you want to see. You want to see that fastball, and you want to see Hayward swing.
That was an absolute clinic there with a curveball, then the slider. And what that'll do for Max Scherzer, throwing him slow early like this on the slider, allows him the opportunity to throw the fastball later in the game. That's a tight slider that blends into a cutter. Wipeout pitch.
Takes care of Hayward on 3 pitches, and there's one gone now for Albert Almora Jr. The last time we saw Albert Almora, we were talking about how he wasn't in the starting lineup with any regularity. That's kind of been the case for Albert the last couple of months. But recent performance has dictated that. He's just 5 for his last 39. Facing Max Scherzer for the first time in his career tonight. And behind the ball in 2 strikes.
Scherzer not the most orthodox, especially when you compare him to a guy like Cole Hamels on the opposite side. And Alex, you've talked about this, but from where he releases it to where he throws it, a lot of guys come over the top. He gets a lot more 3/4, yet can elevate his fastball better than anybody.
And welcome to the world of Max Scherzer. Albert Almora, 3 strikeouts from Mad Max tonight. ESPN Technologies built for baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile, using our front row camera.
And I love this look because it takes you as close as you can to the batter's box. And when you're facing a guy like Max Scherzer, especially when you get Almora that chases a ball in the dirt, you get an idea, a better idea of where that slider starts, where it ends.
2 quick outs now. It's Kyle Schwarber. Schwarber, like Almora and like Contreras behind him, all facing Scherzer for the first time in their careers tonight. That is in regular season play. A ball and no strikes to Schwarber. Into center field, a base hit. First of the night for Chicago.
Kyle Schwarber early in counts is a different hitter than when he gets behind in the count. No one slugs better in baseball first 2 pitches of an at-bat, and you see it here. 1-0. He gets a fastball that's elevated, but he kind of just shortens up his swing. This isn't the Schwarber swinging for the fences. This is Schwarber recognizing an elite pitcher with elite stuff, meeting the ball and dropping it in for a single.
That's exactly right, Jesse. When you face a guy like Scherzer, less is more. Short and tight to the baseball. Perfect.
Wilson Contreras now with 2 out and a runner aboard.
The difference when I face Scherzer in Detroit to the guy we're seeing tonight, it's predictability and is a great deal of confidence. In Detroit, he was 80-20 fastball. Very predictable, hard. Tonight, you'll see more of a 60-40 split. The unpredictability is what's causing these anemic swings you're seeing so far by Cubs hitters. There is no better feeling as a hitter when you work uphill to get to a 2-0 or 3-1 count, and you know that you have a cookie coming, meaning a fastball. In this case, both pitchers will reverse pitch, which pitch backwards, and they'll go with their secondary pitches.
Contreras with a fly ball, angling toward the seats and out of play. Yeah, we you know, in fairness here, because we do a lot of Alex Rodriguez home runs and domination and in our video flashbacks. This was not a guy that you enjoyed, Max Scherzer.
You can say that again.
Do you remember the line at all?
I try to forget those things. Well, give it to me, Matt.
1 for 16 with 5 punchies.
Oh.
I mean, that puts you in pretty good company. There aren't many that can say they own Max Scherzer. That's what he does to people.
I thought it was much worse than that.
That was dirty.
Wow, and he strikes out the side despite the single. Nothing here in the second. 4 already for Scherzer through just 2 innings. Hayward, Almora, and Contreras.
Slider. Changeup. Dirty.
At Ally, we're doing digital financial services right. But if that's not enough, we have more than 8,000 allies looking out for one thing, you.
Call in the next 10 minutes to
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every dollar.
Put down the phone.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every cent.
Grab your wallet.
Access denied.
And if that's still not enough to help you save,
New one.
we'll bring out the dogs.
The old one's just fine.
We'll do anything, seriously, anything to help our customers.
Thanks.
Ally, do it right.
Experience the versatility of utility. With a range of SUVs perfect for any adventure at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
This is Laura, and Butch, and Tank, and Tiny. And this is Laura's Mobile Dog Grooming Palace. Laura can clean up a retriever that rolled in foxtails, but she's not much on articles of organization.
Articles of what?
So she turned to LegalZoom.
They help me out.
She means we help with her LLC, trademark, and a lot of other legal stuff that's part of running a business. So Laura can get back to the dogs.
Would you sit still?
This is Laura's Mobile Dog Grooming Palace, and this is where life meets legal.
For Philadelphia, they couldn't have it set up any better. They've got their best on the mound tonight in Cole Hamels.
Changeup, swing and a miss, he got it.
Every time he goes out, I look for this guy, throw a good game, and put us in a place to win the game.
It's been 7 strong from Cole Hamels. Strike 3, called at the knees.
The Philadelphia Phillies are world champions.
In the air to center field.
Did he make the catch? He made the catch! The 13th no-hitter in Philadelphia Phillies franchise history!
He has accomplished a lot in this game. Cole Hamels, an NLCS World Series MVP, great postseason numbers. The no-hitter here at Wrigley in July of 2015.
They just shut it off. We're good.
And with a chance to get back to the postseason dance in a new uniform at the age of 34 after the deal that brought him here from Texas. Trailing 1-0 early as we go to the top of the third. And Max Scherzer will lead things off in the inning. He of the 6-game hitting streak. Yes, a pitcher.
Yeah.
With those numbers, a .300 batting average.
What doesn't he do? Like, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, the consistent seasons that he's had, even since his first Cy Young, back in 13, and every season since then. And then I was watching him take BP pregame and just locked in, like totally. He's pitching tonight, and he takes this seriously. And not saying that pitchers don't. Obviously, they want to do well, but I mean, walking through the tunnels coming out here, you would have thought that that was his pregame pitching more, not hitting.
Max Scherzer is making Major League Baseball look like high school baseball. He must wake up in the morning and feel like the king of the prom, the ace, the cleanup hitter, and the quarterback. he's got it all working right now. And you've seen Michael Jordan. You've seen great players over the years be in the zone. He's been in the zone for about 3 years.
And a swing and a miss. Hamels gets him in their first head-to-head meeting at the plate.
It ran where it was borderline.
Tomorrow, 8:10 Eastern, you can catch this one on ESPN Plus. Bryce Harper and these Nationals in their first of 4 against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. So start your free trial of ESPN Plus now.
I'm so jealous, Matt. Look at that hair.
That is big time flow, right?
And the beard.
There's Trey Turner now back to the top of the order.
The hair and the beard, I'm 0 for 2. Matt, I think you're 1 for 2 on that. You got a great beard.
There's quite a bit of salt creeping into the salt and pepper, however. Bryce still looks good. Father Time has not ravaged Bryce Harper yet. 0-2 is the count to Trey Turner. Hey, you know, speaking of the similarities between Cole Hamels and Max Scherzer as we talk about this great matchup, they're both 34 years old, 9 combined All-Star appearances. And while Cole Hamels was almost destined to become a staff ace, Max Scherzer had to have worked a little harder for it. Yet if you look at their careers, they are in such similar spots. 6th and 7th on the active strikeouts list. As Turner one-hops it to third, got to hurry, he can run. And it's just a step ahead of him for route number 2.
That's why Baez is at third base. We've seen David Bote there most of the time filling in for Chris Bryant, but they know to put their best defender in the spots against a lefty where they think it's going to see the most action. And Joe Madden told us pregame he wanted Javier Baez in this matchup to be in that hot corner, and right there the last play you see why.
Omar Vizquel hands Sean Dunston rocket across the infield.
It makes it look easy too.
So 2 gone here for Juan Soto, the 19-year-old phenom.
So Matt, keep going. You were saying,
yeah, just to button up the thought on that. So there's 6 and 7 Scherzer and Hamels on the active strikeout list. Only 6 active pitchers have more wins than Scherzer and Hamels. They've both thrown no-hitters. They're both among the highest paid pitchers in the game. The difference is with the postseason hardware. Cole Hamels has it. Max is trying to get it.
Boy, is he trying. This Nationals team hasn't been able to get past the division series yet. Has been one of the more talented teams in the National League last 5 years.
Steven Strasburg on the shelf. They hope to have him back to contribute down the stretch. But in the minds of a lot of people, the guy that's the difference this year for the Nationals is the man at the plate. He strikes out on 3 pitches. We'll talk a lot about Juan Soto as we continue. A 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels in a pitching matchup that so far has not disappointed.
You spray. You work all day. You're gold. Smell fresh all day with Axe Gold Body Spray.
Jane, this is Jim from OnStar. I've contacted help, and they're on their way.
Okay.
Don't worry. I'm going to stay with you until help arrives.
Thank you. Dear, it just came out of nowhere.
There are people who want this movie to succeed.
Either you make good on your promise, or you'll wish you had.
So lovely, bumping into you like this.
You can trust me. It's beautiful and dark, but on some level, you just feel it.
Oh, tell us.
Ooh. That's a lot to like. You could watch it 2-3 times and always find something new in it.
Get Shorty, only on Epix.
I've been making blades here at Gillette for 20 years. There's a lot of innovation that goes into making America's #1 shave. Precision machinery and high-quality materials from around the world. Nobody else even comes close. Now starting at $7.99. Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Nationals come home on Friday to start a 6-game homestand with the Marlins and Phillies. Come out to Nationals Park to see Harper, Soto, and Rondon in action. Get your tickets at nationals.com. Nats fans have traveled pretty well this weekend, enjoying the weather and a good time here in Chicago. Cole Hamels, the pitcher, occupying the 8th spot on Joe Maddon's lineup card tonight, leads things off in the 3rd. Hamels, then Russell and Rizzo against Max Scherzer, who has yielded just a single so far tonight. He has struck out 4.
Hamel right here.
0-2 to Cole Hamels. And Scherzer takes care of him with a minimum of effort for his 5th strikeout of the night. Meanwhile, in the Cubs dugout, some wardrobe issues being discussed by Joe Maddon.
I might need the hoodie by the end of the night, Coach. What happened? I misread. I went in there to change my shirt, put my hoodie on. I went to the bathroom, so I put my hat down and I put the hoodie on the sink. And as I did that, the automatic faucet went off. Got my hoodie soaking wet. I got a new one.
I'm sure they've got a backup hoodie for Joe. Right? It can't be his only hoodie.
Let's see. I think we need to see if he ends up putting a hoodie on some point this game. Otherwise, I love that turn the faucet on. You can hear him just cussing it up, too.
I have a hard time believing here in mid-August that it's going to get cold enough here for a hoodie. But
he's on it dry.
Here it is.
It's what, like 75 right now?
2 balls and a strike to count to Addison Russell. Oh, check that. A late strike call by home plate umpire Alan Porter. And that puts Addison behind 1-2.
Two and two.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Russell. You know, we just heard Joe Maddon in good spirits. And I think there were a lot of people here today, Alex, who were wondering about not only Yu Darvish's progress, and he threw off flat ground today as he continues to mend towards a return for the second half push, but people were wondering about how Joe Maddon would receive you after some of the comments that were made on Sunday Night Baseball a few weeks ago and Joe's defense of Yu Darvish. And I know that you guys had a discussion today to clear the air, and all's well.
I thought we had a very positive, constructive conversation in Joe's office. Look, it's my job to call it as I see it, to be fair, to be objective. And we all love the game. We all want to talk, you know, in great, with a great, how we see the best part of the game, right, and the passion of it. And I think Joe's very passionate. I'm very passionate. I've known Joe almost 25 years when he was with the Angels. And here's the bottom line for Joe Maddon and the Cubs. I've always had a great deal of respect for them. But they need to get Yu Darvish healthy. I remember playing for George Steinbrenner, and one of his biggest pet peeves was if somebody got injured, he would send us to Tampa. And it was our way to, we had to earn our way back to the Big Apple and play in New York. And I loved it. I agreed with it. I wanted to get back to New York. And Yu Darvish is one of the greatest talents in the world. And the Cubs need him. That's why they gave him a big contract. And he's had good, side actions from what we heard from Joe. And it's really important for him and the Cubs to get him back where he belongs on that mound, so they can have their goal, which is winning a world championship.
Yeah, I think you guys both understood each other's points pretty well. Joe defending his player. You feel strongly about your perception of the situation. And there's a base hit for Rizzo. Not a lot of room on that shifted right side of the infield, but Anthony found some for a 2-out single.
When you hit it that hard, Matt, that's what allows it to get by. And I feel like that's Anthony Rizzo, his mentality. As much as we see guys with the shift think about trying to go opposite field, when you have the power that he has, and the reason why he gets on the plate is to be able to hit an off-speed pitch as hard as he does through 3 guys on the right side.
In both swings, Jessica, both Schwarber and Rizzo, tight, short, and not trying to do too much.
So here's Baez now, a strikeout victim in his first try. We set up the MVP candidacy of Javi Baez earlier on Baseball Tonight. And here's another thing to put in that file. Against pitchers who appeared in the All-Star game this year, the collective group, Javi Baez is 14 for 34 this season. So by way of measuring one's best against the league's best, there's the number on your screen against those that were selected to the All-Star game. Baez has hit over 400 against that group this year.
And that, to me, it's the amount of pitches that he can hit. Yeah, he's going to chase a lot. Yeah, he's going to swing against a lot. But that gives you hope that against some of the best, he's going to be able to battle.
Oh, man, does he take a swing?
He can still take his hacks when he's 1-1 count.
He's Gary Sheffield 2.0.
Especially this one. The slider against righties. Excuse me, the changeup. Anything off speed that you see moving away from his barrel. I mean, and there's times, we saw the pitch before, he'll foul that pitch off, but I haven't seen a pitch he doesn't like to swing at.
2 strikes, the count to Baez, batting with 2 out and a runner aboard in a 1-0 game, and Baez goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. 6 already for Max Scherzer through 3. Max.
Bottom of the 9th. Ooh, swing and a miss. 2 outs. In comes the All-Star with the game on the line. Let's see if Smith can protect his home turf. He's really painting the corners tonight. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Smith pulls one to right. A walk-off homer to win the game. What an amazing finish. Paint like a pro with Frog Tape brand painter's tape for the sharpest lines every time.
Get ready for an all-new Auto Trader. Search with all-new speed. Shop with all-new control. Now with the power of Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor on Auto Trader, so you'll know the price is fair. Supercharge your search and find your next car faster than ever. Shop all the cars like never before with the all-new Auto Trader.
Some believe if it's not German, it's not luxury performance. So we brought these Infiniti SUVs to Germany with American families to drive them.
This truck is only for German luxury auto, not for family or SUV.
VC Turbo. It's like 2 engines in one. How did Germany not do that first?
The Infiniti family of SUVs. There's nothing traditional about it. Lease the Infiniti QX50 for $399 a month at the Start Your Own Legacy summer sales event. Infiniti. Empower the drive.
They need more space.
Is your mom in there?
Since Nana's moved in plan.
Nope.
Let us help with your plan.
Yeah, we can do that.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Start a plan that flexes with yours. New York Life.
Welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. A 1-0 lead for the visiting Nationals in the rubber match of this 3-game weekend series. We go to the top of the 4th inning. We're joined by Nats manager Dave Martinez on the telecast. Hey, Dave, what are the accommodations like on the visiting side as compared to the nice, lush trappings that you used to enjoy in the home clubhouse at Wrigley Field?
It's a little small. There's no comparison, really. What a great home clubhouse as opposed to the visiting clubhouse here.
Well, and coming back to Wrigley, and I'm sure obviously your relationship with Joe over the years, and I know it's been talked about, but this weekend has to be a little bit special and different for you.
Oh, absolutely. I have fond memories here, not only as a coach, but as a player. I started my career here, so this place means a lot to me, and the fans have always treated me and welcomed me every time I come here, so it's been a lot of fun.
Anthony Rizzo, as athletic as they come at the first base side, able to combine with Hamels for the out on Harper, and there's one away.
Dave, Alex here. So we were talking about earlier the team that Mike Rizzo has curated for you, and it's a good one, and you finally have kind of the feel and the shape of it. But talking specifically about Daniel Murphy, it seems like he stabilizes your lineup and he makes everybody better, including Bryce Harper.
Absolutely. He's a constant professional, and what a professional hitter. When he's around, you hear him talking about hitting, and everybody seems to chime in and listen to him and actually absorb what he has to say. He's actually like having another hitting coach. He really is, and he's so good, and he's so well prepared before each game, each at bat.
Well, and now that you have most of your guys healthy, because that's been probably one of the biggest things, there's so much talent on this team, but who's probably stood out to you the most with, you knew from across the other way how this Nationals team looked, but how do you, now that you get in with these guys, who's probably stood out to you the most?
It's hard to pick just one, because there's a core group of them that really they all stand out and they all do their part. And like you said, when we're healthy, as we're healthy right now, you can see that. I mean, at any given day, one or two guys could pick up this team, and it's been a lot of fun.
Have to ask you about Max Scherzer tonight, Dave. I mean, it has to be an absolute pleasure to kind of sit back, and I know you never really put your feet up as a manager, but the next best thing is watching Max do his thing.
Oh, absolutely. For me, he's the best. He really is, and people get to watch him every 5th day. I get to watch him every day, and he is actually works so hard in between his starts and competes amongst himself to get better at each and every start. So it's absolutely a joy to watch him and be around him.
Dave, thanks for the time today. Best of luck the rest of the way. We hope to see you guys in the fall.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave.
2 quick outs now for Daniel Murphy with the bases empty. Murphy singled in the first, a part of that run-scoring rally. Mark Reynolds able to strike the sac fly that brought in Ryan Zimmerman for the game's lone run so far.
We talked about in his last at-bat how his numbers improved once he started to get kind of that comfort zone you see with him, that squat position. Him getting low in his legs. And remember, his injury was to his knee. And when you watched his swing, Alex, when he was struggling coming right off the DL, he wasn't getting into his legs, which is so classic Daniel Murphy. The reason why he's able to have that simplicity. And you see that back knee there. That's something he didn't utilize when he was struggling.
That's right. Zobrist with a nifty play to his right. Another 1-2-3 inning for Cole Hamels. Through 3.5, still 1-0 Washington.
Ball game.
Why turn a meal into a snack when you can turn a snack into a meal? A 3-cheese blend pico de gallo, double the marinated steak, and a medium drink.
At least they're cute.
Taco Bell's new $5 steak nachos box. It's kind of a big meal.
I think it's time my family met my beautiful girlfriend.
Have you prepped Rachel to face the wolves?
You're going to Nick's house wearing this? You kind of look like a